Welcome to the stage of Tuscaloosa's vibrant theater scene.
Join us as we unravel the drama and celebrate the magic.
This is the Crimson Curtain Chronicles.
Welcome.
Thank you. I really appreciate you all asking me.
Yeah, we're glad you get to be our first guest.
That is so exciting. Yeah.
I know we've got kind of a little bit of an interesting setup here, but the funny part to me is always going to be the fact that we're calling it the Crimson Curtain Chronicle.
I
with
love
our
that.
Silk gray and white
Tuscaloosa.
curtains behind you. We just got to work on.
We are planning on making changes and stuff.
Gray and white goes with everything.
It works.
Yeah.
It
You
works.
you
really
can't
does.
beat that. Yeah, this is
It's
good.
very natural.
So, Grace, do you want to do an introduction? You have a much better knowledge of how to talk her up.
Frighteningly enough, yes.
This is Carol, and I'm so sorry, but I always mispronounce your last name.
DeVelice.
DeVelice. This is Carol DeVelice, and she is playing the lead role and the only role in Theater Tuscaloosa's brand new play, which is called
Erma Bombeck at Wit's End.
Nice. And this is based on a
This
true
is
person.
based on, for those of you who don't know, and there may be a few of those, I'm older than God, so I knew about Erma Bombeck, but Erma Bombeck was a prolific writer. She was maybe the first female American humorist, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and her whole career about writing was being a stay-at-home mom and what it meant to be just an ordinary, as she says in our show, I think I struck a chord because the key to my writing is that I am ordinary. And then she goes on to say everyone thinks of ordinary as some sort of skin disease. And then we go on from there. But the play is about Erma Bombeck, how she came to be a writer, how she came to be a mother, and what her life was about. She's very active in the feminist movement, and it's funny because that was in the 60s and early 70s, and we've reverted back. We've lost so many of the rights that we had worked very, very hard to gain. And I remember working hard to gain those rights,
Right.
because that was my era.
Yeah.
Although she was born far earlier than I was, we overstepped. Erma Bombeck was born in 1927 and died fairly young in 1996. But she wrote innumerable books, and as she said, she never won a Pulitzer, but she was featured on kitchen refrigerators from coast to coast.
Oh, wow.
So she was widely distributed columnist in America, and went on a number of TV shows and did a lot of things for women.
Wow.
Right. So someone that the people loved, but maybe not so much the high society.
Well, they may have thought she was a bit over the top. I don't know. She was very much a beloved figure, though. She just probably wrinkled some of the people the wrong way, if that's a good way to phrase it. But she had a lovely sense of sarcasm,
Love that.
but with great humor
Right.
and with great love behind it.
Let's be honest, if you're doing a show, she needs to ruffle people's feathers. Otherwise, what's your show about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
has to. You're absolutely right.
And this is a one-woman straight play?
It is a one-woman straight show, and it takes Erma Bombeck explains how she started out on her career and how her marriage went, and it takes her from the time she's young all the way through dialogue, through just telling people what her life was like, and it takes that all the way up through pretty much through her death.
With it being a one-woman show, but you're trying to portray all this, and it's all through dialogue, like you said. Are there someone off stage reading other lines, or is there a recording, or is
Yeah.
do you
There-
have to portray
there are
one side?
there are 3 places where there are other spoken lines
Wow.
that are plants. There's the one recording of, because a lot of this focuses on the Equal Rights Amendment, which, by the way, has never been passed. One would think it had, but it never has passed.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, a lot of us didn't. Tina and I, we were laughing. Well, we weren't laughing, we were commiserating, which is probably more appropriate to say one day, because I said, the ERA never passed. And she said, it did. And we looked, of course it hadn't, because I looked it up. No, it was written originally in 1923, so 100 years ago, by Alice Paul, and it still
hasn't been passed.
as one of the lines says, women lawmakers make sure it's the first bill in the hopper every year. And every year nothing happens.
Wow.
So yes, I do different little voices for different people that I am bringing up dialogue for, but mostly it's just me as Erma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for
Yeah.
doing something?
I drink a lot.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I really don't.
No.
Drink a lot, and that brings out all the voices.
That's it. And then it doesn't matter who's
There
talking.
you go.
Heck, half the time it's just my dog barking. I have had, it's actually a project Tina and I started just before COVID. She gave me a copy of the script, and we decided, wouldn't this be a good little show to take out to places like assisted living facilities, places with a lot of seniors, to show that people who are seniors still are very vibrant and can still accomplish lots of things.
Love that.
So I started learning it, slowly but surely. We went through all the blocking. We did some rehearsals during COVID with both of us in masks. And then COVID got very bad, and we just left it until now.
So this has been like a work in progress.
It
for
has been a
several
work.
years
I
now.
think maybe she gave me this script in 2019, and maybe by 2020 we actually started it, and we worked on it for a little while during COVID, and then we just
That
dropped
was
it.
when me and Austin got married. So,
Yeah.
In 2019. So
so
Yeah.
almost 5 years.
Yeah,
working
well, and then
on
we
it.
just dropped it. We
Right.
left it because until now, because they're really, and then the stage got flooded at Bean Brown Theater, and Tina wanted to open with something, and she said, let's open with your show in the Alabama Power
Aw.
Recital Hall. So we've been working. She told me that I think right after Hallelujah Girls, so I started looking at the lines again, and I thankfully have this marvelous neighbor, Rosalia Quintano, who's Italian, who's been running lines with me.
Aw.
And she's so funny because she's adamant. She'll call and she'll say, Carol, we need to run those lines. We must run those lines today. What time should I come over at 9? Yeah, Rosie, come at 9. So we do. We sit there and run lines.
Well, you should get her to like try out for some straight plays.
She won't.
She
do
sounds
it.
like a hoot.
Oh, she's delightful. She actually went to rehearsal with me this morning so she could see what we've been working very hard on.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's grand. It's grand.
Well, good. Then you must be really excited to get the more or less passion project finally on stage.
I am. I'm anxious for people to see it because I'm anxious for people to think about the fact that things haven't changed, and they have to, and that women have been put in a certain position and should no longer be in that position, and that we really need to think about what we're doing and how we treat people. And I want people to know about the history of this woman and the history of our country, and this is one of the ways they can find out about it.
Yeah.
I think, is this not the beauty of art? that art is used as a form of teaching.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, absolutely.
Entertainment and also just a form of communication that,
Yeah.
I mean, that, you go back to the ancient Japanese with the kabuki stuff, and I think the only medium that's a little bit older is still art, and that's the
Right.
drawn,
yes, drawn art.
pictographs and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But I think from theater and music and art in all forms and dance, we tell stories. And the stories tell people how we've lived and maybe say, how do we want to live? How do we want to go forward?
right.
Yeah.
I love that. And it makes me really happy too, because like you said, doing shows that's based on a real life person
Mm-hmm.
and actual history and stuff, because it's crazy, because I know recently, a couple of, I guess it was last week, we had 9/11. It's been over, gosh, how many years now? Over
20-some?
Over 20.
Yeah, just slightly
years.
over.
Yeah, 22 years.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, because now it's most of the people who I talk to, they say, oh, I wasn't born for that.
I know, it's
and,
weird.
And
And
they
they
don't
don't.
yeah, and they don't know some of the details of it, which we know very well because we lived
Mm-hmm.
through that. And it's just nice, having shows and also movies and TVs where you can learn about what happened, because like you said, I had no clue that law hadn't been passed,
Yeah.
so
It's scary,
so,
isn't it?
yeah, so learning that, that is really, really neat.
I need to look into that some more. I'll be interested to see
Yeah.
what else going
Look
on
it up.
there.
It's the Equal Rights Amendment. What was it? They got, and I don't know if this has changed at all, but 35 states ratified it. They needed 3 more. And as Erma said, I wish they could put this on my tombstone. I got Missouri for the ERA. And of course she didn't.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's I didn't know it. I was
Right.
not aware of it. But it's, as Erma says, there are so many really wonderful lines. She said that her main job on the road, because she went on the road trying to help promote the Equal Rights Amendment, and her job was to simply tell people what it meant. She said, when I was being flipped, I would tell people, we've got to get sex out of the gutter and back into the Constitution where it belongs. So the show is filled with it's filled with delightfully funny moments
Right.
and a lot of pathos.
Yeah.
It's just a lovely show.
Oh wow. What has Tina said what led her to show you this
I
this
think
show?
she saw somebody do it somewhere else and thought, this would be fun. I'm going to bug Carol.
Yeah.
She'll want to do this.
Oh,
And she was
okay.
right. Because I remember the night she handed me the script, we went through improv master classes together. We had a great time. Improv is
Oh.
much, much fun. But she handed me the script one night. She said, I want you to read this. I think we want to do this. And then I read it and I thought, my God, how does anybody learn all those damn lines? Pardon my language. But yeah.
Do you I know for me, learning lines is one of the hardest things for me. Do you have any tips for
Yeah, the way I learn
learning that
lines.
many lines?
Yeah, for the mostly when I learn lines for a straight show. I have more trouble, by the way, learning lyrics for a musical.
Really?
Oh, I'm no good at lyrics.
Okay, lyrics are really, really easy for
See,
for me to
lines are
learn.
easier for me. But what I do, it's easier when you can do the blocking first and put them together with the movement. But for me, what I do, because I spend a lot of my time in the car going places, so I will record my cue line, and then I will to myself say my line, and then I will record my line
Okay.
so that it backs up if I haven't remembered what it was, and then I go through. For Irma, I did it in segments. I think I have 6 different tape segments, and I just play it when I'm in the car, segment by segment.
Okay.
And then, obviously I hear myself saying.
Right.
Right.
So,
Makes sense.
and somehow it goes in. And then when you wake up, like at 2 a.m, like you do when you get older, I just keep running lines in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that's how I learn lines.
That's pretty
Nice.
impressive. So there's a bunch of lines. Obviously, it's all you. So how long is this? A 2-act, 3-act?
No, it's
or
all, oh,
one
please.
act?
Don't
Please,
get
please
denied.
don't
Now I
react.
am going to have to go home and drink. No, it's, Tina thinks it will run 55 minutes with laughter.
Okay.
We're planning people in the audience so they will laugh.
Right. I mean, how else do you?
Yeah.
How else do you control the audience other than making sure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we think it'll run, it's been running somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 minutes.
Okay.
It's-
So no intermission?
No, no.
probably?
It's good for pregnant people because you don't have to, you go to the bathroom before it starts and then you can
Right,
jump
yeah.
up and leave immediately thereafter.
And then you're good.
It's perfect.
Good after that.
Perfect for bladders. But yeah, and it's in the Alabama Power Recital Hall there at Theater Tuscaloosa in Shelton State.
That is the small theater room
Yes.
that is close
Yeah.
to the Bean Brown Theater.
Exactly.
Stage, right?
If you're in Theater Tuscaloosa's area and you're facing the ticket
Mhm.
in the offices, it's to the left as you face the
Right.
ticket counter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so the show starts. Or
The
is
show
running
will
when?
run October 4th, which is Wednesday. It'll run the 4th through the 8th. And it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights at 7:30. And then we have a 2 p.m. performance on Sunday. But people should get tickets because our Friday and our Sunday shows are sold out.
Oh wow.
They
Oh,
are already
nice.
sold out. Yeah.
And to buy tickets already.
Call
is-
Theater Tuscaloosa, or I think you can also do it online. But I think our number is 205-391-2255 maybe, but don't quote me on it. Ask me lines,
Well-
don't quote me on the phone number.
We'll double check, and if it's wrong, we'll just dub over. No problem.
Beautiful, thank you.
Is
thank
there
you, thank you.
is there anything people buying tickets should know about the show? Like is it can kids come?
I
language
think
in the show.
no, there is no bad language unless I go up badly on lines. And then we'll pray I don't say something inappropriate. But I can't remember if we are suggesting ages 11 and up or 13 and up. It's, it's not going to be fascinating to little people.
Right. Not like a Disney show.
No,
like something
heaven
like
forbid.
that.
No, it is not a Disney.
Right.
But and to keep the attention of the kids, it might, older kids certainly. But there is nothing inappropriate about the show. There is
Right.
absolutely nothing inappropriate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it just a very funny show throughout, or does
It
get
has a great
very
deal of
serious at
humor
times,
throughout. Yeah. And it's something that will resonate. It'll resonate with you more in a year after you've already had one, but it will resonate with parents,
Right.
especially mothers. They're going to see that and say, this is what it was, or this is what it still is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is a lot on motherhood then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, because she wrote about being a stay-at-home mom. One of her books, as they say, economics, I lost everything in the postnatal depression.
Huh.
That's the ecology. The grass is always greener over the septic tank. These are actual books she wrote.
Wow.
Sociology, everything I know about animal behavior, I learned in the Loman's dressing room. And then travel, when you look like your passport photo, it's time to go home. And it's like, have you ever heard that old expression? If life is a bowl of cherries, what am I doing in the pits?
I really like that, but I've never heard that.
Oh,
before.
yeah. I grew up hearing that expression, and it's from her.
Oh.
And she
That's
wrote a
a nice
book
one.
entitled that.
Wow.
Yeah.
She has some
Oh,
very
she
good.
was a prolific writer, and she
Yeah.
incredibly amusing and incredibly insightful.
Wow.
Yeah, really an insightful lady.
You were talking about the like motherhood thing. Yeah, it makes me want to like see this show more because I am a stay-at-home mom with our son Peter who just turned 2 in May, and now I'm gonna
Aw.
have 2 running
Yeah.
around, staying home with them. So, gosh, I may be tearing up watching the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like she said, it would take those 9 months of pregnancy, and instead of wishing them away, I would have been amazed at the wonderment growing inside me, realizing it was my only chance to assist God in a miracle. But there is so much that is so poignant and so true.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, you're going to need
That
to
is
You
such
see
can
a-
it.
enjoy
at
the
some-
last month
Yeah.
now.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming
Yes,
and being
thank
part
you
of this.
so much.
absolutely, my
And,
pleasure.